In this lesson, we are going to talk about an overview of the interface. There are a lot of useful features in this software, a lot of little details, but I don't want to overwhelm you, and I just want you to focus on three main areas. From all the software, from all the little things here and there, just focus on three areas, okay? The workspace, right here, the timeline, and the content manager. Just 1, 2, and 3, okay? Just those three areas. Workspace, timeline, and content manager. The timeline is normally hidden, like this. But you can bring it out anytime by pressing F3 on your keyboard, right? F3. Or by clicking on this little icon, the timeline icon. Of course, there are more functions and buttons in this software. You have the top toolbar, the side toolbar, right? But ignore those. We will just focus in this lesson on three areas: the workspace, the timeline, and the content manager. We will cover each of the other features as we learn to use this software to create your animated series, okay? I just want to keep things super simple, and so we will just focus on those three. Now, let me explain a little bit about each one. The workspace is where you do all your animation. You position your characters, right? You make them move, you play with props, you add the background. This is your screen, the screen that will show your animation. Everything you're doing here will be visible in the final render, okay? Now, you will notice that there is a little rectangle. You see it in the workspace. This little rectangle represents the camera, the screen that will be rendered, okay? So that's the workspace. Then we have the timeline, okay? Again, remember, it's usually hidden. Just press here or press F3. And now, the timeline was a little bit tricky for me to really understand it, because I'm used to have all the keyframes shown, like, for example, in After Effects or Moho. But then I realized the Revolution team made a really huge effort to help us be organized and animate faster. How? By using these filters. Let me show you with an example. This is scene number 10 of the animation, and the first useful feature is that if you click on this icon, the object related track icon, you will only be shown the keyframes of whatever you have selected in the workspace. So for example, if I select this tree, it will show those keyframes in the timeline. If I select this character, it will show its keyframes in the timeline, okay? Now, let me click on it, and it's not showing me any keyframes, you see? But now it's showing me those filters: transform, flip, visible. And so, let's say, what if I want to make adjustments to the face? Well, I just select the character, right? And in the timeline, I just click on face, and boom. I know I have a voice clip for the lip sync, and I have a facial clip that I created. I'm gonna show you how to create all of this, okay, in future lessons. Now, what do I want to do with the face? Change the lip sync or change the emotions? If I want to change the lip sync, then I tinker with the voice clip, right? I expand this. If I want to change emotions, I can just change some keyframes in the facial clip, right? I can change, I expand it, and I'm showing the keyframes for the face. Now, what if I want to change some lip sync? Let me drag this a little bit. Right here, I'm showing the phonemes, the little mouths that I'm showing here, right? Let's say that instead of an open mouth, Well, how about if I want to close the mouth? Well, I can just edit here, double click, then change to a closed mouth. You see? So in the timeline, we are working in the timeline. I choose the face, and I'm only working with the keyframes of the face, and I can edit or add or modify anything I want. I'm not showing any other keyframe, okay? Now let's say I'm satisfied with my terrible, horrible changes I made, and I want to work on the movements for the body, right? I'm satisfied with the mouth, right? Yeah, I'm happy with that. And now I want to change some movements. How can I do that? Well, I can go to, I'm gonna hide the face. Now it's not showing any keyframes, and I'm going to show motion. The face will show the keyframes of the face, right? Motion will show the keyframes of the body, right? And transform will show the keyframes of the whole thing. So if I move this to one side, it will show the keyframes in here, okay? Again, transform shows the keyframes of this box, right? Whatever you do to it, you grow or you move it to one side. The motion will show you the body, and the face will show only the face, okay? Just a quick example, I can click on motion to show the clips I used for the body, and let's say I'm going to delete all of those, and instead of that animation, I'm going to add some jumping. Let me close this, then go to animation, and then I'm going to choose, how about jump? I'm going to jump here, one jump, then another jump, then a split jump, okay? And I change the whole animation in just a few clicks. How very organized. Thanks to the filters in the timeline. I just clicked motion and played with the clips, okay? And motion, what did motion do? It changed whatever is happening to the body, not the face. And not this box, okay? Not the transform box, none of that. Only the movements of the body, right? So it's a very, very interesting way to keep you focused. Okay, so we have the workspace and we have the timeline, okay? Check and check. Now the third panel, which you already saw me use, is the content manager. In here, you have two things. A collection of all the work done by the team at Revolution, all the actors, all the characters, right? Animals. And all of that is in the content manager. But in this same area, you can show the scene manager. The scene manager. Think of the scene manager as the layers panel in Photoshop. In here, you have all the layers, the list of all the layers. So if you're having trouble to select anything, for example, I want to select that lamp, I can click on street lamp, woo, and I just selected that in the workspace. If I want to select tree number 1, I click on it and it selects it in the workspace, okay? So everything in your workspace is being listed in the scene manager. It's like the layers panel in Photoshop. And content manager has everything, all the hard work that all the developers of CrazyTalk Animator made for you. Okay, so those are the three main areas. The workspace, right, where you do all the work, all the animation, and the timeline, when you modified everything that happens in the workspace, I mean. In here you modify your work, and the content manager, which has a list of everything you have in the workspace, or use to import objects, okay? Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to show you really quick how to navigate through the timeline and the workspace and show you